But one of the biggest lessons I've learned in this experiment is you really need... What's up, guys? Emily here with emlovz, documenting my 20th platonic date in 90 days following my 20 in 90 platonic experiment. It's a spin-off of my original 100 date experiment, only this time I'm doing it with platonic friends. So my 20th platonic date was a meetup with an old friend from where I used to live. I usually don't make an effort for friends, or in the past, before this experiment, I didn't make a huge effort for friends, especially if I was tired or not feeling well. I would make a lot of excuses. And one thing I started to really notice through this experiment was who put in effort for friendship and who does not in my life. And I've really learned that it's important to make an effort for friends. And so this person actually makes a really strong effort for connection. They've always really made an effort to get together, even though we don't live close, and stay in touch. And I appreciate that so much more now that I've done this experiment than I did before. In fact, I found that a lot of times in the past, I kind of would blow off opportunities for meetups for whatever reason. You know, you're tired, you're not feeling it, you had a long work week, whatever. But one of the biggest lessons I've learned in this experiment is you really need to make time for friends. And even if you're tired, just go. And the old me really wouldn't agree with that, you know, because I thought, well, the most successful people in life say no most often. But you know what? If you always say no and you're always sitting at home by yourself and saying no and prioritizing work over connection, that's going to turn into a really lonely life. And so I made an effort to meet up with this old friend. We had coffee, and I also realized that this is probably the best role model that I have in my life for good friendship. The amount of effort that he makes to be a friend, the amount of times he reaches out and gets rejected by me, you know, and still keeps inviting me to things is really something that I want to model moving forward in my friendships. So I want to use him as my role model for friendship. And every time he reaches out to me to invite me to something, not only am I going to prioritize saying yes, even if I'm tired, even if I'm not feeling it, because connection is so important. And, you know, you have to make a deposit into the friendship bank account in order to take a debit out, right? It is a reciprocal relationship. It should not be going all one way. And so I'm going to make an effort for him. And then also I'm going to use that as an example. Like when he reaches out to me, I should be reaching out to another friend and really becoming that proactive person who has a rich social life, and a fulfilling, you know, list of connections of people that, you know, you really rely on, in not just in times of need, but that you support them as well. And that was like a huge lesson for me, is just make time for friends, show up for friends, don't cancel last minute, don't say no if you don't suggest something else. You should always have an alternate, because the more you say no to people, the less they're going to invite you to things. And pretty soon you're going to find that your friend list has really dried up. So making an effort for those people. I also learned, you know, I observed this in a recovery group that I was in, where the sponsor would suggest to her sponsees that they reach out to 10 people every single day, because, you know, especially if you're like in recovery for anything, it's so easy to isolate. And I think in this world that we live in right now, post-COVID, you work from home all the time. You don't go into the office as much, or if at all. You know, there's just so much that is isolated that it becomes really easy to get in your own island, and then you're not reaching out to people. And over time, those connections really die out. And so what I saw, and I'm going to model, is reaching out to 10 people a day, whether that's sending a stupid GIF or asking them, you know, about what they just did that they had talked to you, know, how did that party go? How is that new job treating you? You know, really just putting debits into the emotional bank account that is connection. Beyond romantic relationships, friendships are like the next best thing, right? We can't just focus only on our romantic partnerships, or we're going to find ourselves very lonely. We're going to find ourselves very unbalanced. We're not going to have enough perspectives like coming in to really paint a beautiful picture of the world. We're going to just become very narrow and lonely. So this experiment overall has taught me so much about being proactive in my friendships, getting out of my comfort zone, trying new things, and not just being the person that waits around for somebody to say, hey, you want to hang out, right? And when I do get those invitations, saying yes to that, right? It's so simple to be a good friend, but it doesn't mean it's easy. Hope this was helpful for you guys. If you're on a similar journey or you want to be on a similar journey, specifically mega dating romantically, that's something that I can definitely help with. I teach my students how to do this every single day in my program, Dating Decoded. You can learn more about that in my free masterclass linked below this video. If you like this video, make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave us a comment in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time.